Hello, Brother Eddie. Magandang gabi po mula dito sa lahat ng Marines Norte. Isa po akong ateista. Ngayon, paano mo ako mapapaniwala na totoo ang Diyos kung sakaling walang Biblia? At kung totoo ang Diyos, bakit ginawa niya ang mga kasalanan? Kasi, alam niyo po, Brother Eddie, ateista na po ako, matagal na kasi po, dahilan na rin po sa wala naman talagang ah, tunay na basihan kung bakit talaga totoo ang Diyos. Ngayon, paano mo ako mapapatiwala?
Alam mo, kapatid, ganito yun. Yung mag-isip ka na walang Diyos, no? Saan mo kinuha yung isip na walang Diyos? Kung ikaw ang tanungin ko ngayon, paano mo ako mapapaniwalang walang Diyos? Babalik ko sa'yo, sandali kapatid. Nag-a-analyze lang tayo. Sinasagot kita, pero in a way for you to analyze, there are two schools of thought. More than 70% of humanity, more than 70% of them believe that there is God. Only a little less than 20% are agnostics and atheists. Mas kakaunti kayo. Mas marami kaming naniniwala sa Diyos. Ngayon, meron dalawa ngayong schools of thought. May Diyos, walang Diyos. Saan mo kinuha yung notion na walang Diyos? Paano mo ako paniniwalain na walang Diyos? Gaya nung tinatanong mo sa akin, na paano kita papaniwalain na may Diyos? To be fair, what you are asking me, you also have to ask yourself para maging makatarungan, ba't ba ako naniniwalang walang Diyos? Sino ba nagsabi sa akin na walang Diyos? Tatanungin mo naman ako ngayon sa akin, ba't ba ako naniniwalang may Diyos? Sino ba nagsabi sa akin may Diyos? Ang nagsabi sa akin may Diyos, ang Biblia. No? Pero ang sabi mo, ay sagutin kita ng walang Biblia. Which is very hard. Pero susubukin kong sagutin kita ng walang Biblia. Ito. Ayon sa mga naniniwalang walang Diyos, lahat ng bagay umiral dahil sa Big Bang. Because of the Big Bang, there was a Big Bang. That Big Bang caused the existence of the stars, the planets, and all the things that are around us in the universe. And gradually, all these things produce one-celled plants and animals, which is a wrong deduction. How can inorganic matters produce organic matters? There is no explanation in science that will prove that inorganic matter such as soil, elements like water, fire, and everything that exists, that we know now, have the power to produce organic matters, living matters. I have seen a stone from my childhood, a rock, which is up to now is a rock. It has no capacity to make itself live or exist para magkaroon ng buhay. Yung rock, 20 million years ago is up to now a rock. Kaya sa inyong paniniwalang mga ateista, walang link kung paano nagkaroon ng living things. Kasi, paniwala nyo, nag-umpisa sa Big Bang. Ano ba yun? Nag-Big Bang na sumabog. Yun daw yung mga stars, nag-form ng stars, etc. Lahat yan ay mga inorganic matters yan non-living organisms yan, kung tawagin paano nagkaroon ng buhay? Nag-umpisa raw sa one-celled plants and animals. Kaya ang mga ateista, mga descendants ng amoeba, lahat ng undesirable na mga bagay, yung mga bacteria, diyan ang galing ng mga ateista Kung papaniwalaan mo sila, diyan sila nang galing. Wala silang capacity to think. Kasi yung amoeba, walang capacity to think yun Yung mga one-cell plants and animals Na nangyari, sumunod, nagkaroon ng evolution. Which is a product of chance. Parang pagkakataon. Survival of the fittest and the elimination of the unfit. Yan ang formulation na ginawa nila. Yung natural selection, survival of the fittest, elimination of the unfit, pagkatapos ay yung sinasabi nilang cause and effect sa environment. Yun ang nagmolde para nagkaroon ng tao na ateista ngayon. Ngayon, kung pag-aaralan natin yan, kapatid, walang base yan eh. The Big Bang cannot be true. Ang definition kasi ng mga scientists sa Big Bang, pakibasa mo nga, Sis Luz.
Ito po, the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory has been accepted by a majority of scientists today. It theorizes that a large quantity of nothing decided to pack tightly together and then explode outward into hydrogen and helium. This gas is said to have flowed outward through frictionless space. Frictionless, so the outflowing gas cannot stop or slow down to eventually form stars, galaxies, planets, and moons.
Yan ang paniniwala ng ateista, Big Bang. It's a theory that a large quantity of nothing decided to pack tightly together and then explode outward into hydrogen and helium. Is that scientific? No. That is anti-scientific. Why? How can a large quantity of nothing, how can you quantify nothing? Even their explanation of the Big Bang Theory is not sensible. It is inane. It is insane. How can you quantify nothing? A large quantity of nothing decided to pack tightly together? Where will the decision come from? From the nothing? Then, again, after deciding to pack tightly together, they decided again to explode. To do things which are directly opposite one another. How can this theory be true? Nothing can decide for themselves to do two things directly opposite, to pack together and to explode, for the stars to be there and the galaxies to be there. People with scientific mind will not believe the Big Bang Theory. It is just like saying that it is an accident. Big Bang Theory is just like an accident. And how can an accident produce things which are very, very orderly? Let us use observatory science. Mag-observe ka ngayon, kapatid. Can accident produce things that seemingly are planned to exist? Planned to exist. Why? Nakikita mo yung relationship ng all living things. Plants support animal life. Animal life support plant life. There is an exchange of benefits between the two kingdoms. The animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. The plant kingdom uses carbon dioxide to produce its food and to grow. In the process of photosynthesis, while plant is producing their food, their byproduct of the manufacture of their food for them to grow and to exist is oxygen, which is in turn used by the animal kingdom, very necessary for the animal kingdom, especially to man, to have a constant supply of oxygen. And that oxygen will later on, after being used by humans and animals, will be turned into carbon dioxide, which is needed by the other part of the kingdom, the animal and the plant kingdom. Can this be a product of an accident? Or can this be an intent of somebody who created everything to exist? Isipin mo, no? Bakit ang carnivores merong shorter intestine than the herbivores. Bakit? Kasi yung herbivores, kaya mayroong larger intestine to give way for a much longer digestion of food. At bakit yung mga, kagaya ng mga baka, mga tupa, merong 4 chambers ng stomach to make use of the cellulose in plants, which is not fit for humans because we were not created to be herbivores. Yun ba produkto ng aksidente? Na iba ang ating bituka kaysa sa bituka ng mga cattle kumakain ng damo? Meron kasing parte ng damo, yung cellulose, hindi natin kayang tunawin. We need cellulase to benefit from the plant. Kaya nga yung gustong magpapayat, kumain ka ng mga herbs, which is meant by God for herbivores. Pag kumain ka ng herbs, hindi mo makukuha yung mga cellulose kasi wala kang cellulase, wala ka nung enzyme na yun in your stomach, in your system, kagaya ng kalabaw, na sila puro kinakain lang damo, lumalaki yung kalabaw, tumataba yung kalabaw. Pero pag ikaw na human ang kumain nun, wala kang cellulase, hindi mo magadigest yung cellulose. Kaya ikaw, pagka kumain ka ng puro herb, hindi ka tataba. Kaya yung mga gusto maging slim, nagkakakain ng gulay. No? Kasi nauuwi lang sa fiber, yung mga hindi niya ma-digest, mga undigestible na mga fibers doon sa plant products, hindi niya ma-digest. Kaya hindi ka tataba, magiging slim ka. It is explained by the fact that in our system, we do not have that enzyme cellulase that digest the cellulose part of the plant. Meaning we are different being from cattle, from goats, and from those herbivores. Sapagkat tayo ginawa ng Diyos na frugivores. Ayon sa Biblia, ang utos ng Diyos kainin ni Adan, lahat ng bunga ng punong kahoy sa halamanan ng Eden. And that is discovered by science, the best for humanity. Yang mga prutas, ng mga punong kahoy, mga prutas, at saka yung mga herbs, binigay ng Diyos yan ayon sa Biblia para to clean our system. But that is not our staple food. Our staple food should be fruits. Ngayon, can all this be the product of an accident or the Big Bang? The product of evolution? At sabi ng mga artista, ang evolution daw, kaya raw nagkaroon ng sea lion, wala na raw makain sa lupa, pumunta raw sa dagat yung sea lion, kaya nakadevelop nung pangsa. Ganon. Kung totoo yan, bakit naman meron pang leon hanggang ngayon? Meron land lion. At kung totoo yung evolusyon, bakit hanggang ngayon may bacteria pa? The same bacteria that exist 3 billion years ago. Let us show a scientific proof that the bacteria that exist 3 billion years ago exist up to now. If evolution is something true, there must be no bacteria now. Bakit? Dapat lahat ng bacteria nag-evolve na. Let us read this system.
Yes, but really, it may seem surprising that bacteria can leave fossils at all. However, one particular group of bacteria, the cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, have left a fossil record that extends far back into the Precambrian. The oldest cyanobacteria-like fossils known are nearly 3.5 billion years old, among the oldest fossils currently known. Cyanobacteria are larger than most bacteria and may secrete a thick cell wall. More importantly, cyanobacteria may form large layered structures called stromatolites, with more or less dome-shaped, or oncolites, if round. These structures form as a mat of cyanobacteria grows in an aquatic When sectioned very thinly, fossil stromatolites may be found to contain exquisitely preserved fossil cyanobacteria and algae. The picture above is a short chain of cyanobacterial cells from the Bitter Springs Shirt of northern Australia, about 1 billion years old. Very similar cyanobacteria are alive today. In fact, most fossil cyanobacteria can almost be referred to living genera. Compare this fossil cyanobacterium with this picture of the living cyanobacterium oscillatoria. Aside from cyanobacteria, identifiable fossil bacteria are not particularly widespread. However, under certain chemical conditions, bacterial cells can be replaced with minerals, notably pyrite or siderite iron carbonate, forming replicas of the once living cells or pseudomorphs. Some bacteria secrete iron-coated sheets that sometimes fossilize. Others may bore into shells or rocks and form microscopic canals within the shell. Such bacteria are referred to as endolytic, and their borings can be recognized all through the Phanerozoic. Bacteria have also been found in amber fossilized tree resin and in mummified tissues. It is also sometimes possible to infer the presence of disease-causing bacteria from fossil bones that show signs of having been infected when the animal was alive. Perhaps most amazing are the fossils left by magnetobacteria, a group of bacteria which form tiny nanometer-sized crystals of magnetite, iron oxide, inside their cells. Magnetite crystals and the identifiable as bacterial products have been found in rocks as old as 2 billion years at a size of a few hundred millions of a meter. These hold the record for the smallest fossils.
Tingnan mo, yung palang bacteria that have existed 3.5 billion years ago, yung cyanobacteria, hanggang ngayon may cyanobacteria, ba't hindi nag-i-evolve? Ba't meron cyanobacteria pa rin? If the process of evolution believed by atheists is true, dapat wala ng bacteria ngayon. Dapat wala ng one-cell plant in animal ngayon. Pero, our microbiology proves the authenticity of the Word of God in the Bible. That what He made cannot be unmade. Ang ginawa ng Diyos, hindi mababago ng kahit sino pa. Ang ginawa niya, magiging magpakailanman. Kaya ang bakterya, talagang bakterya yan, hindi magiging tao yan. Basahin natin ang Ecclesiastes 3:14.
Nalalaman ko na anumang ginagawa ng Diyos, magiging magpakailan pa man. Walang bagay na maidadagdag o anumang bagay na maaalis. At ginawa ng Diyos upang ang tao ay matakot sa harap niya.
Kita mo? Ito ba matututulan ng siyensya? Na ang ginawa ng Diyos, hindi mo kayang dagdagan at hindi mo kayang ialis. Halimbawa, ginawa niya na ikaw ay dalawa ang kamay mo. Regularly, magiging dalawa ang kamay because of microbiology. Through microbiology, thanks God for the invention of high-powered microscope. I am now one of the recipients of the benefits of studying microbiology. Why? In my high school days, we do not know DNA, we do not know the genes, we do not know the chromosomes. You can find or survey the books that I have used in high school. There's no such thing as genes, chromosomes, etc. But now, because of science of microbiology, thanks God, because of the invention of high-powered microscope, we were able to penetrate the cells. And penetrating the cells, we have found things that exist in the cells. And microbiology have proved that the cell is a universe by itself, with the proton, the neuron, and the atom there, and there are still other things there. And that is the DNA, that is the chromosomes. Those are the things that are wonderful to know now. Ano yon? Every living thing has its DNA, has its genes. And every living thing has the pattern of the offspring in the DNA. Kung ano yung nakasulat sa DNA, which is the blueprint, will be transferred from the parent to the child or to the offspring. Kaya yung pattern ng existence ng bakterya, kung halimbawa cyanobacteria ka ngayon, hindi ka pwedeng maging bukas na ibang klaseng bakterya. Kasi meron kang genes na nagdidictate kung ano magiging pattern ng magiging anak mo. Kaya ang tao, merong 46 chromosomes ang bawat cells mo, andun sa mga chromosomes at sa mga cells, andun yung mga DNA, andun yung mga pattern of your being, yun ang itatransfer mo sa iyong anak. Tapos yung anak mo yun, itatransfer niya dun sa anak niya. Kaya mag-billion-billion taon man kung sakali, hindi mababago. Kasi merong blueprint ang bawat living creature. Kaya yung ampalaya, bata pa ako, mapait na yun eh. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa tumatamis eh. Kahit lahat ng tao sabihin, mag-evolve ka, maging matamis ka, hindi tatamis yun. Talagang it was intended by God na mapait. At yung sili naman, maanghang yon. Pagka ang sili nag-evolve, malulungkot ang mga taga-Bicol. Mawalan sila ng panlagay sa ginataan nila. Sa Bicol Express. It was meant by God to produce that substance which we call hot. Yung mga sili, habang panahon sili yan. Hindi po pwedeng hindi sili yan. Dahil nakalagay sa kanyang DNA, sa genes niya, yung kanyang isusunod na lahi. Yun ang sinasabi sa Biblia, kapatid. Ngayon, ang Biblia, nung isulat, wala pang microscope. Wala pang microbiology. Pero sinasabi niya na yung binhi ng isang halaman, magpapatuloy. Yun ang nagpapatunay na totoo ang Biblia. Bakit? Hindi pa naiimbento ng tao yung DNA at saka yung genes, nandun na pala sa Biblia. Na yung binhi, ang kahulugan pala ng binhi, what the mother plant look like and taste like will be the taste and the look like of the next generation of plant. Until the end. Alam mo kapatid, mas mabuting maniwala ka sa Diyos, gagawa ka ng mas mabuti kaysa sa wala kang Diyos. Pag naniniwala ka sa Diyos, hindi ka magnanakaw. Hindi ka mang-aagaw ng asawa ng may asawa. Gagalang mo ang tatay mo at nanay mo. Kasi sabi ng Diyos yun, igalang mo ang iyong ama at ang iyong ina. Igalang mo ang iyong mga magulang. Yung tiyuhin mo, yung tiyahin mo. Pag sinabi mo walang Diyos, huwag ka nang gumalang sa magulang mo. Kasi yung ideya na yung galing sa Diyos yun eh. Yung sinabi, huwag kang papatay, gagawa ka ng mabuti sa kapwa, galing sa Diyos yun eh. Nasa Biblia yun. Ngayon, para sabihin mo sa akin, alisin ko ang Biblia para patunayan kong may Diyos, kaya kong patunayang may Diyos. There is an intelligent designer of life. Everything that exists now came from an intelligent designer. Everything that exists was meant to exist the way it must exist. And that way is a way of justice. Is a way of fairness. You give and you take. You take and you give. You give and you take. That is necessary for life. Everything on this earth exists to give and to take. Yung mga sardinas, yung tinatawag na mga fish sardines, na kung anak pagkarami-rami, tunilada, nakakain yun ng tao. Pero sobrang dami nila. Napapakain nila yung mga balyena, yung mga shark, napapalaki nila. No? There is a food chain in the existing world. There is a food chain. And the end benefit is humanity. Can this be the product of Big Bang? Napakahirap mo akong paniwalain na a great quantity of nothing decided to pack together and to explode again. Yun ang istorya ng mga ateista. Na ang buhay sa mundo galing sa Big Bang, dahil walang Diyos, sumingaw ka na lang because of natural selection. Hindi totoo yan. Bakit? Tingnan mo kapatid yung natural selection na sinasabi nyo, mali rin yun eh. Isang napakalaking kamalian. Animals will prefer to die than to drown in the sea. Hmm? Kaya raw nagkaroon ng sea lion na nagutom daw dito sa lupa. Kaya pumunta sa dagat. And because of natural selection and adaptability, the survival of the fittest, yung mga kung pinagsasabi ng mga ateista, naging sea lion. Napakaiba ng bitukan ng sea lion sa bitukan ng talagang leon eh. Para sabihin mo, nag-evolve yung leon para to be a sea lion, ang may kagagawan niya si Charles Darwin eh. I would prefer to believe in God that He created everything to exist and for His pleasure. Mas gusto kong maniwala sa Diyos at mas marami kong kakampi. Kung kakampi ko sa'yo, konti lang tayo. Pero mas marami kong kakampi. Alam mo kung sino kakampi ko? 270 halimbawa ang presidente ng Amerika, walang atheist kahit isa. Lahat sila naniniwala sa Biblia. Ang mga siyentipiko na naka-invento ng pinakamagagandang mga makinarya na ginagamit ng tao ngayon naniniwala sa Diyos. Bakit? Ang tinignan nila yung model ng Diyos. Bakit kaya ang ibon nakakalipad? Ay kasi yung paggano ng ibon, nakakaano ng pressure dun sa air para siya mag-float. Yun ang ginaya nila kaya na-invento aeroplano eh. Kaya mas gusto ko na yung may Diyos kaysa sa walang Diyos. Kasi mas marami kong kakampi na may Diyos. Hindi balik ka nang wag mo sumama sa akin, kapatid. Kung ayaw mo na may Diyos, kung naniniwala ka sa Big Bang, naniniwala kang galing ka sa bakterya, ikaw na lang bahala sa sarili mo. Pero mas gusto ko na yung sinasabi ng Biblia, nilikha ng Diyos ang lahat ng bagay. Nilikha niya ang langit at lupa. Nilikha niya ang mga bituin. Naglagay siya ng tanglaw sa lupa. Yung pang-araw at panggabi, yung buwan ng panggabi, pang-araw ay ang araw o sun. Tapos sinasabi sa Biblia, nagpatubo siya ng mga halaman. Nung tumubo na ang mga halaman, gumawa siya ng mga hayop. Tapos yung mga hayop, may kanya-kanyang uri. May tinatawag na ganid, yung mga ganid na tinatawag niya, yung mga leon, yung mga tigre, yung mga kumakain ng kapwa hayop, ginawa ng Diyos yan lahat ng bagay na yan. Meron silang mga gagampanan, kagaya ng yung tinatawag natin buitre, yung vulture. Yun, nakakalipad ng mataas yung vulture. Doon sa kagubata, nakikita niya ron, nakakaamoy siya. Kahit 1 kilometro, nakaamoy niya kung may nabubulok. Yung mga vulture. Yun naman vulture pala, yung kanyang saliva, yung kanyang tawag dito, yung lipay niya, may isang klase ng enzyme na lahat ng klase ng bakterya pwedeng patayin, pati rabies. Kaya halimbawa, merong isang hayop dun sa kagubatan na matay sa rabies, kakainin ngayon yung vulture. Masarap sa kanya yon. Kahit may bakterya, yung patay yun dun sa laway niya. No? Ngayon, kung hindi siya ang kakain nun at ibang makakakain nun, lalaga na pa rabies. Kaya yung mga vultures, yan ang mga kolektor ng garbage sa kagubatan. Kitang-kita mo, mayroong intelligent designer eh. Kaya pala may vulture, para wag lahat ng hayop sa kagubatan o sa wild, magkahawa-hawa ng sakit. Kung may mamatay sa sakit na nakakahawa, kakainin ng vulture. Kaya ang vulture naman ang kakain, dahil pagka kinain nila, di sila maapektuhan. Yung kanilang enzyme sa saliva nila, mapapatay ang halos lahat ng existing and known bacteria. Yan ba, maipapaliwanag mo ba yan sa Big Bang? Ano ng Big Bang ang papaliwanag dyan? Bakit nagkaroon ng isang klase ng enzyme, yung laway ng vulture, na kayang patayin lahat ng bakterya? Kasi it was intended by the Creator na maging collector ng garbage sa mga kagubatan. Kasi walang nakakarating na tao ron, masisira ang mga hayop doon, magkakahawawa. Kaya yun ang nature's garbage collector. Yung mga vulture. Mabuti yan, basahin mo na ito, Sis Luz.
Opo, ayan. Nature's garbage men. Turkey vultures are able to eat carrion and contaminated meat due to specialized digestive enzymes and bacteria in their systems. These enzymes destroy hog cholera, rabies, and other contagious diseases in their digestive system that would be spread if another animal ate the contaminated carcass. For this reason, farmers will often drag an animal that died for an unknown reason or just because he does not want to dig a hole out into a field and allow the vultures to pick the bones clean. The extent of the useful life of this unique germ-fighting enzyme, the turkey vulture will allow its pieces to drop straight down onto its own legs and coat them with the enzyme. This prevents the bird from contracting diseases through cuts on its legs and feet while standing in a carcass.
Yan ang mga garbage collector doon sa mga lugar na hindi mararating ng tao. Kasi may namatay ng, kagaya ng tinatawag nilang masamang sakit ng baka, anthrax. Pagka may bakang namatay in the wild, may anthrax, makain ng ibang hayop yun, makain ng leon, patay ang leon. Kaya ang leon, di naman kumakain ng patay. Ang hinahabol ng leon ay yung mga buhay. Tamo, talagang ang existence ng leon, kakain siya ng buhay. Pero kung merong mamamatay sa sakit, gumawa ang Diyos ng kakain naman ng patay. Yun yung mga vultures. Para malinis yung mga kagubatan. Ito bang lahat ng ito is a product of accident or is the product of an intelligent designer? I know that it is the product of an intelligent designer. And that designer we call God. Ayaw mong maniwala, bahala ka sa buhay mo. Yun ang sagot ko sa iyo, kapatid.